Are you tired of eating the same kale salad over and over again? Today I'm going to show you a kale salad that is going to be anti-inflammatory, and the best thing of everything is that it's so flavorful. It is different and it's not like the other salads that you have tasted before. You can make the preparation in advance to save you time as well. This salad has everything you need for your health, for your budget, and for your time. So stay with me. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you this delicious kale salad. Why is this different? We're going to be using anti-inflammatory ingredients. We actually need these anti-inflammatory foods in our everyday life. We're going to use a whole cauliflower. Half of it is going to be to make the dressing. Yes, you heard it right. Make the dressing with the cauliflower without any processed foods or vegan mayonnaise. No, it's not required. You just need a cauliflower and a few simple ingredients to make this salad super delicious. The other half of the cauliflower, we're going to cook it either in our pan or in the oven. Today I'm going to show you the pan version because the oven version, it is very simple and you might know it. But I want you to have other alternatives in case you don't have an oven. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so we're going to start by cutting our cauliflower in two. Just cut it lengthwise, and then we're going to use one part for our puree and one part for our toppings, like kind of pan-seared. We need to see where is the stem of the cauliflower, and then just go at the top of the stem by the cauliflower florets. Then we're going to make a cut, like a V cut, and then the stem should come right off very easily. Here, the leaves that are hugging the cauliflower, we can use them for sauteing or for pickling. And don't throw out the stem because we're going to use it for the broth. Okay, so now we're going to make really tiny florets, small florets like bite-sized, like this one, the one that I have in my hand. So just insert your knife. You can see that they're going to start falling apart. That little space between each other, just get your knife in there and then just cut that one in half or in a quarter pieces, and then you're gonna have them. We're gonna do that with half of the cauliflower. Okay, so now we're gonna heat our pan. I'm using a cast iron pan here. We're going to let it warm up in medium flame. Then we're going to add olive oil and then our cauliflower florets that we just cut. We want them to sear, we want them to have some beautiful color, so that adds up the flavor at the end of the salad. Just try to make one layer on the pan so it sears evenly. Then we're gonna season with a little bit of salt and we're gonna let it cook for 4 to 5 minutes. And with the other half, we're going to do basically the same that we did, but now the florets, they don't really have to be a specific size. Just try to make them smaller so they cook faster. Remember, if you are in a rush or if you want to get things done fast, what you want to do is just cut them in a size that they can cook faster. If it's bigger, it's gonna take longer. I'm just using my knife here to remove the florets. You can see how I'm rotating the core and then all the cauliflower florets are basically falling apart by themselves. Then just use your hands and then maybe with your knife just cut them in half. That would be a good size. Now we're going to steam that cauliflower for about 20 minutes or until the cauliflower is completely soft. Remember to steam it at medium temperature. You don't want it too high. Okay, so here we have our garlic and our ginger, and we're just gonna chop it because this is basically where it is going to add the flavor into our puree. So just chop it roughly, doesn't have to be too fine because we're gonna cook it and then blend it. Just make sure the sizes are even. I'm gonna make a space in the pan and then add the garlic and the ginger. But also something else you can do is just add it into the cauliflower in the steamer. So when the cauliflower is done, you just add everything to the blender if you want like a mellow flavor. Okay, so now we have here our kale. If you have the fresh kale with the stem on, what we're gonna do is just remove it. Start by pulling from the top to the bottom and the leaf is going to come out super easily. Just make sure there is no stem because the stem meat is really rough and we don't really want that in the dish because otherwise it's going to be a little bit rough to eat. So now we're going to stack the kale, and then there's two ways that you can do it. You can chiffonade it like I'm going to do it now, very thin, or also you can do more like bite-sized chunks. There are two different textures, and as you can see I'm just going to chop it in half and then cut them in like, I would say small squares, but you cannot really see the square. I like this for this salad because it gives some volume to the salad, but if you want to go with the other one, please feel free to do it. So here you can see how the cauliflower got a beautiful color, beautiful browning, and also the garlic and the ginger are already getting some color. At this point we're going to add some vegetable broth because I want this vegetable broth to reduce and the cauliflower and the ginger absorb all that flavor of the broth. Something else you can do, just lower the flame if you don't want to add it because you want to still some crunchiness in the cauliflower. Just lower the flame and let it cook covered. So it cooks but it still is not that soft. With the broth it's going to be softer, without the broth it's going to have more texture. Now you can see here that it's boiling, that's what we want. We want it to go boil fast because this is going to really help us to evaporate the liquid very quickly. And for the cauliflower, what we want is this. The color in it is the caramelization of its own sugars, because if you realize we didn't add any sugar, but we got now that brown color in the outside that equals flavor. For this salad we're going to use onion, but we're going to pickle it because we want some acid. Also I have an orange cauliflower floret here that I'm going to add. So really finely what we're going to do is just slice this onion as finely as you can because you don't really want a big chunk of onion. And when we add the salt and the lemon juice, we want it to like extract all the water. By cutting it very thin, this will help us in the process. Okay, so now with my cauliflower floret, if you don't have a cauliflower floret and even if it's not orange, I use it because it's going to add some color and it's going to contrast with the green, but you can use something else. We're going to cut the stem and you can see how, those little florets come right out without any effort. I'm just looking at the stems that are holding them and then I just cut them with the tip of my knife. So what we want is tiny chunks, but also something else you can do is at the middle of the cauliflower you can start slicing very thin because the stem is holding the whole thing. Okay, so at this point all the vegetable broth is already evaporated and all the flavor is already absorbed by the cauliflower, the ginger and the garlic. Now we're gonna turn it off. We're gonna remove our ginger and our garlic and we're going to add it and blend it in our puree. I just taste one of it and it is really hot, but it is good. So let's do the onions. Place them in a bowl, then add the salt and then we're gonna massage them with your fingers. If you wanna use gloves in this step, because if not your hands are gonna smell like onion, that's fine too. But we're gonna massage this for about 1 minute until the onion has wilted. Something I really love to do is try to use all the parts of my ingredients, if possible and when possible. In this case, we have a lime. I wanna use the zest because the zest has a lot of aroma, a lot of flavor. So we're going to zest it into the kale bowl and then the juice is gonna help us to pickle the onions. You usually throw away, you usually cut it in half and just squeeze the juice. Don't lie. But now you can use it. You can use it as simple as that. Just add in a little bit of salad, add it on top of your rice, fried rice, add it on top of your mashed potato, add it on top of so many things. So don't waste it. We zest it first in our salad, in the mix of our salad. This is going to add a lot of aroma and a lot of flavor. And then we're going to squeeze it in our onions. And we want to take every ounce of juice that we can get of it because we want that acidity in these beautiful onions. Here you can see that the lime is covering the onions. I think this is a good amount. Then add the cauliflower and then just mix it in. You don't have to really squeeze it, just mix it in with your hands so they get also some of the lime juice and the salt. And then we're gonna let them be until we finish the salad. So it's gonna be like quick pickle. So I just sped this up, but add the cauliflower, the ginger and the garlic into the blender with olive oil and salt. Then we're gonna blend without any vegetable broth because the cauliflower contains water because we steamed it. But if you see that after blending it, it needs a little bit to get the mayonnaise consistency, add a little bit at a time. And this is the texture that we want. Smooth, creamy, and almost like a mayonnaise. So now we're gonna add some of our dressing into the kale salad. And here we're gonna massage our salad. You can do it with a spatula like I'm doing it, but I do recommend doing it with your hands because it's gonna get more in there. And also one thing that you're gonna start realizing is like if the kale needs a little bit more or not. And with your hands you can tell the difference more obviously. Okay, so now we're gonna plate our salad. We're gonna start by putting as a base a layer of kale. Just spread it out evenly. Or you can just place this in a whole bowl and just make it like a family style salad. And then on top of the kale, just do some of the cauliflower, the roasted cauliflower, some of the parsley. So when you get every bite, you get actually a piece of it. Okay, so grab a little bit more of kale and then put it on top. Let's add more cauliflower. Now here, let's cover all the kale with the cauliflower. Look how beautiful color it has. And now we're gonna finish with some of the onions and then just spread them out thinly. Another layer of onions. This is going to add the acidity. This is beautiful just to cut through that creaminess and that fattiness from the kind of mayonnaise that we did with the cauliflower. And I have some sorrel that I'm gonna use today. It's also a little bit acidic, so I'm gonna just put them all around because I want that another kick of flavor. And also for presentation is good. The good thing about this is when you get a bite of it, you're gonna get something that is really crunchy because it's basically raw. And you're gonna get that acidity, but then you're gonna get a piece of cauliflower that is pancier and creamy, and the dressing and the chewiness of the kale. So it's just a whole experience. As you can see, we use ingredients that almost everyone has at home. All the ingredients in this recipe are anti-inflammatory, such as the garlic, the ginger, kale, the cauliflower. But the best thing is not a boring salad. It's not like I just roasted the cauliflower and then I put it on the salad, put olive oil and lime juice, right? Instead, what we would do is we use the cauliflower, one of the main ingredients, to add cremosity into this dressing that at the end of the day, it was flavorful, it was fresh also, and a little bit with a kick from the ginger. Because the ginger is there to add a little bit of freshness, but also a little bit of spiciness. That little kick that makes, you know, your taste buds being like, oh, okay, I got it. And it's not really intense. Everything is balanced. And on top of that, we use the lime zest. We don't want to waste any part of our ingredients if we can. And that was wonderful because at the end of the day, you can perceive that fragrance due to the oils that the skin of the lime has. I really love this salad. You can add here some nuts and seeds and, you know, vary the recipe a little bit to your necessities and to your likes. You're using healthy fats, you're using anti-inflammatory ingredients that are going to be healthy for you, but without sacrificing flavor. This is the way here at the Lalo Lab I show you how to cook healthy foods but without sacrificing the flavor. If you like this video and you got something out of it, please give me those thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because more amazing recipes are on their way and you don't want to miss them. And if you love this salad and you made it, tag us on Instagram, but most importantly, share it with someone that you think their salads are not that great. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, share it with them because they're going to benefit from this too. So until next time, see you soon.